President Trump wants to have a second round of talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Washington this fall. The Trump administration is in its fourth day of damage control after the president's meeting with Putin in Finland. Weijia Jiang is at the White House with new information about this week's summit. Weijia, good morning.
Good morning, John. Last night, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said Presidents Trump and Putin made progress on a number of issues. And Russia says it's already prepared to implement agreements. But a White House official tells CBS News the only deal actually reached was to have a second summit. Meanwhile, the president's own leader of the intelligence community says he's still in the dark.
We have some breaking news. The White House has announced on Twitter that Vladimir Putin is coming to the White House in the fall.
Say that again?
President Trump's own director of national intelligence, DNI Coats, was clearly shocked to find out the president had invited Putin to Washington for a second meeting.
Did I hear you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's going to be special.
Coats said he has no idea what the president and Putin talked about during their one-on-one, which Coats believes should not have been private.
If you had asked me how that ought to be conducted, I would have suggested a different way.
There was progress made on a handful of fronts.
Last night, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo fired back at criticism that the president appeared weak by meeting with Putin on Monday.
The president's been very resolute. He understands precisely who it is we're dealing with in Russia.
At the summit, Putin offered the U.S. permission to interview 12 Russians accused of interfering in the 2016 election in exchange for allowing his investigators to question American citizens, including former U.S. Ambassador to Moscow, Michael McFaul, and American financier William Broder.
I think that's an incredible offer.
On Thursday, the White House walked back the president's remark, now saying he disagrees with Putin's proposal. Broder, a longtime critic of Putin, says the reversal does not go far enough.
He needs to be much more explicit about how this is never going to happen.
After the White House backtracked on the president's initial remark, the Senate unanimously voted against allowing Russians to interview U.S. officials. Putin reportedly told Russian diplomats he also proposed to President Trump a referendum to help resolve the conflict in eastern Ukraine. But Pentagon officials say they have not received any new guidance, and existing law makes it illegal for the U.S. to work with Russia there. Gayle?
All right, Weijia, thank you very much.